Welcome everyone to today's CEEA Animation Experience webinar. We are very glad to have you join us for this case study titled 9 Million Colors, Stop Motion Musical, The Fun and Falls of Producing this Genre. I would like to start by expressing our gratitude for the financial support from the International Visegrad Fund, Czech Film Fund, Audiovisual Producers Association, and the Ministry of Culture in the Czech Republic. Their contributions make this session possible. And today we are honored to have with us two outstanding figures from Czech animation world, Bára Anna Stejskalová, the acclaimed director behind Love is Just a Death Away, or art director of the VR work Darkening. And also there is Jakub Košťál with us, Emmy Award-winning producer from Bionaut Animation from the Czech Republic. So please, if you have any questions to this topic, leave the message in the comments and we will come back to them at the end of the session. So let's jump in. Bára and Jakub, the floor is yours.
Okay, hello from us as well, and thank you for having us. We will talk today about our animated short film, underwater stop-motion musical, 9 Million Colors. So first, about us, you see Bára is a scriptwriter, director, and art director of this project. She's from progressive animation studio Divize. And I'm producer Jakub Košťál. I'm from Bionaut, which is like established company on the Czech market for 25 years with our animation label, Bionaut Animation, now celebrating 10 years of animation. And we are doing like series, films, documents, short films, different types of animation. And together with Bára, we did, I think like 4 years ago, a short film, Love is Just a Death Away, which is Bára's graduation film. It was screened on more than 90 festivals around the world, even during COVID. We did not travel much, but we are happy with the film. It won Palm Springs, Leeds, it was at South by Southwest, so it was nice. We sold it to platform Dust and other platforms around the world, and you can see the GIFs. And I think if you know the movie, you can see Bára's style, which is like combination of brutal and cute at the same time, and we call it cutal. So after Love is Just a Death Away, Bára came with an idea of 9 million colors. That was in early 2021. And we said, okay, so let's step up and let's do a longer version. Let's do something between short film and feature film. Let's try to do a 25 minutes TV special. So this is what we wanted in early 2021, doing a longer format, also cutal. And here you can see the first, like the early concept art, the shrimp and fish dancing on a jellyfish. And maybe I'll start with our story. So we have an idea and then we move like on what happened later. So in our story, the Mantis shrimp, she rules the sea. Not only she is super strong, but she also has a very unique vision that allows her to see the colors we can't even imagine. That's 9 million colors. And one day, when she meets hideous deep water eyeless fish Milva, you can see her on a picture here, she instantly sees in her such a beauty she never witnessed before. Because for Fran, she isn't just a pale and white, how we see her, but her skin glistens like rainbow. Fran starts to feel the desire to share her own world and show its all beauty to the blind fish. She does so by amputating the eyes of crabs and giving them to Milva. That's the cute thing, one of them. But the problem is that the crabs can only see in black and white, which the mantis shrimp doesn't know. They go on a giant road trip on a motorcycle seahorse where their differences will tear them apart. They will have to learn some new skill sets in order to survive and get back together. So this is like the story, like basic points. And we now play for you the very first proof of concept we did in development. So back to what we wanted in development in 2021. Underwater stop motion musical, 25 minutes, TV special, target audience 8+. The budget for development and production was 625,000 euro, and our production estimation was 12 months. And we didn't want to finance a short film for 2 years. So we decided with Bára, let's do a shorter version. Let's start with it, and then we just like add the scenes for the longer one. So what happened now in fall 2024? We have beautiful underwater stop motion musical animation done. We have 15-minute film with target audience 12+. Budget development plus production, it's 500,000 euro, but we are still not done. And the production changed from 12 months for 25 minutes to 15 months for 15 minutes. So it's a little longer. And during the development, we have like different phases. Me and Bára, when we said like, okay, let's do 15 minutes, just 15 minutes. No, let's do 25 minutes. But we never really synchronized in it. And I think the final decision to, or like, not sure if it like was our decision, but just happened, was at Cartoon Forum last year, where we pitched the project. And I think we had a great success. We showed like 5 minutes of the movie, all the visuals, our sound development, like music development, and everybody loved our pitch. And but the problem was with our target audience and with our genre and with the visuals. There was no slot for us in any distribution for cinema, for TV specials. There was no slot in the TVs. So there was like actually no way how to do a TV special. Yeah. And now we can show you a teaser, how it went further with the 15 minutes, and we will talk more about like why is it like this.
So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the characters. I always wanted to base the film on the real animals that are actually somewhere out there. And I think I always loved the mantis shrimp, the shrimp we actually have in the film, because she's just super weird, the same as the fish. She's quite aggressive, and she's got this superpower that she can in the real life she actually doesn't have the claws. Like there are 2 types of mantis shrimps, but the one with which I love the colors, she actually doesn't have the claws, but she's got the punchers, and she can punch them as fast as if you fire from a Glock 14, and sometimes like there's even some little bubbles coming out of the punch. But obviously that would be hard to adapt to the film, like punching shrimp, it didn't really make sense. And also for me as an art director, it felt like the punching would not be as scary as having as her catting the animals actually. And not only she's super aggressive, but she's got this superpower. Another one, because humans, like, we see colors in just 3 basic tones: green, blue, and red, and those 3, they are kind of connected together, and that's how we see another colors. But for the mantis shrimp, she sees 16 basic colors for her, the ones we can even imagine. So she's basically seeing the thermonuclear bomb of light and beauty. And for me as an artist, that was always challenging, to try to bring to the screen some images that nobody ever tried before. And I knew from the start that we have to fail, because even though we would succeed, our eyes would not allow us to actually see what the mantis shrimp is seeing. So yeah, but she was the obvious choice for the underwater musical, and Milva, she's her complete opposite. She's one of the fishes who are growing up deep under the huge pressure. So she's kind of blobby, and she doesn't really have the eye because deep down in the sea it's so dark they don't necessarily develop the eyes. So that's why she's not seeing, and we had to adapt them into this form because, as you know, we were making musical. So I would like to walk you through the challenges of how to make a puppet for the musical, because obviously they would need to have they would need to dance. So yeah, so we needed to sort of change them up a little bit. And at first, for me, I will start with the mantis shrimp because that's she's a little bit more complicated. Because as you see, it's kind of a mess. Like there's just parts, and you can't really tell like what's what exactly. It took me quite a little bit of time to actually understand like what's functioning as what really. And also it would be hard to make this creature sing or actually feel any kind of emotion rather than being spooked. But then I was actually saved by her name because her name is Mantis Shrimp. This is Mantis, so I came with the idea, why not combine the two of them and put the head of the mantis into the puppet. So yeah, so she would start coming to life. And this was one of the first sketches. How would she look like? Like you can see that the claws were a little bit more scarier at the first, but then we thought for the stop motion puppet animation, maybe the spikes would be too fragile and they would break off often. So we just decided for another look. And here I have a little slide where you can see like where did I position each part of the mantis shrimp into their new position. So she would still look like a mantis shrimp, but the parts of her body would actually have more I would say maybe more use for the stop motion animation, because especially with the little ears you have up here and the antennas, we were able to create quite a lot of emotions, because sometimes they serve as an ears, like as with a puppy. So you can really transfer a lot. And because it's such a difficult puppet, we need to have a very, very difficult armature. It was done by Momakin in Poland. And yes, you can see it's quite complicated. She had definitely plenty of moving parts. It was 6 legs, 4 arms. Then the tail was bendable as well. And you can see at the bottom of her belly, there's this little fins, and each of them was animatable as well. Plus then the ears, the antennas, the mouth, the eyes were moving separately as well. So yeah, it was it's a pretty complicated figure, but I think she looks very pretty. But because the puppet was so complicated, it was actually one of the reasons why the animation process took so much longer, because originally we were counting the normal amount of the seconds you could make with the stop motion animation per day from our previous experiences, but then we
Normal
started
amount of legs.
yeah. But then we started animating, and yeah, she's just like if you would be animating 3 puppets at one. And also we have plenty of crabs, and the crabs, they usually have 8 legs, and then the pincers and the eyes. So yeah, so that slowed us down like a lot. That was one of the unexpected things that we kind of didn't count it before. So if you would be ever thinking about making a puppets that have multiple limbs, just please count it at least like twice. I think in the end we are able to do about 1 second or 2 seconds maximum per day on average. So yeah, that's that. And then towards the middle that was a little bit tricky as well, because like all the fishes I liked for the film, they are kind of very round. You can't really tell their emotions as well. But I don't know, I just enjoy them. They were this like creepy, blobby. But then the problem is that you can't really dance with them as well. And most of them were kind of like flat on the ground. And we needed Milva to be standing up. So I tried to play with this idea, like bending her head a little bit more forward and adding the eyes and more visible fins and maybe a little bit of a belly. She ended up looking like this in one of the early sketches. And then I started taking the parts from the fish I liked and putting them just together towards Milva, hoping she would be able to dance. But then actually, because I wanted her to be like a little bit chubby, it was quite complicated for the stop motion animation as well, because it's quite hard to animate the belly and we would need to have like a second ball on the top of that. So in the end, we ended up with 3 puppets of Milva. The third one was made especially from different kind of silicone and with different kind of armature, where she would have more joints in her spine, so she would be able to move a little bit differently. And that's how she ended up looking like. And we also added this little mouth, and that one is not actually from the silicone, but it's like a little neat trick that we had a little magnet underneath her silicone skin, and the mouth was made. It was just a super Sculpey with a little magnet as well, so the mouths were replaceable. And now we can get to the shooting under the water. I think that was one of the biggest challenges, like how to actually do it without a lot of post-production. Like obviously there's a lot of post-production because we were shooting everything on a green screen and we were adding a little particles, but it feels like you always need to have this water feeling on the set. Yeah, especially when you have the lights touching the puppets, it's very hard to do it in post-production because you would need to have the 3D scans of the puppets and 3D scan them actually during each of their face they're making, so then you can map them out. But we came up with the idea of using the projector. You can see him in the right, like above the dolphin. It's there. It's a photo of our projector, and it's doing quite a lot of magic. That this animated light. Yeah, it's doing a lot. It's not just about the animation, which was quite demanding as well. You could see it in the teaser that all the crabs and all the creatures, they had to move a little bit slower and a little bit more fluid and a little bit more water-like, and that was definitely quite a big challenge for our animators. But yeah, we just had like this light sequence slowly animated, and we had a programmer who made for us a program that would connect to Dragon Frame, so that every time an animator would take a shot, it would move a little bit. So we didn't really had to think about it a lot. Yeah. This is how it actually looks like without any post-production. It was one of the first shots, and sorry, I just wanted to play it again, and you can see like how much magic one simple projector can do. Another challenge, as I mentioned, were the POVs, because the POVs are a big part of the movie. The Mantis shrimp sees one way, as Jakub was mentioning in the story. Then later in the film, she tries to give eyes to Milva, so she can see as well. But the problem is, she gives her the crab eyes, but the crabs are only able to see in the polarized light, which is something like a black and white. But I will get to that one a little bit later. So first try we did for the Mantis shrimp POV is that we knew that she can see the ultra red light, ultraviolet, and all the other colors. So we tried to move closer to it. So we took six exposures, or 6 different light setups for each of the frames. There was normal daylight, the sun rays in the water, the UV lighting, where we used the UV paints to paint over the colors, then the light up colors, and then something where we would try to mimic the ultra red and ultraviolet, and then we try to combine them in post-production. As you could see in the first shot we did in the first try. But as we started animating, we realized that that would take so much longer as well to do this special light setup. So we opted for another way, on which we are currently working at the moment. We scanned all the colors into 3D, so we would have the texture and the exact measurement and the colors. And then we are editing them actually in the post-production in Rainer Studio in Leipzig. And you can see one of the tests. in here. It's not final, but it's one of the ways where we are towards which we are moving, and it's a little bit time consuming. It still looks like our film, and yeah, and that's the way we are working on right now. And also
Actually, I think it's like to move like to decision to move from doing it like stop motion on like 7 different sets and combining in post production. I think it saved us like another like maybe 9 months of animation, because it's like it's like beautiful, complicated, but
yeah, but it really is a bit crazy. So this is how Krab see, how Milvat see, because we didn't want her to see only in black and white, because that's not really how the polarized light work. It kind of reflects. So what we did is that after we finished filming the camera view, we took all the props and we just covered them in glitter, and it looked very pretty. And then we moved the lights around it, and it's making this sort of effect. It's not processed yet. This is the shot straight from the dragon frame as we had it. We're going to tweak it up a little bit as well, but just for you to get an idea. Even though like having glitter all over your studio, it wasn't so much funny to getting it off everything, basically. But yeah, I think it was worth it. But then another way how Mila is going to see, and we didn't got to this part of post-production yet, is that when she's without eyes, you can see through her touch. So the idea is that the things she's touching, like the more closer to her they are kind of like light up with the colors. And we are getting to another part, like how we actually got to the idea of making a musical. For me, it kind of made sense, because when I was writing a film, I went for a couple months to write by the sea, and I tried diving and other things. And it just made sense, because when you dive or when you're under the water, there's so much sounds and clicking, and it's a bubbles, and in some ways it kind of feels a little bit rhythmical. And then there were some emotions or intentions wanted to explain in the film, and it just made sense that if the creatures would actually sing them out rather than just explain. And at the same time, I did not wanted them to actually talk, because it just didn't felt right. I always in my films always think that with the magic of animation, it's just easier to make it without the words. But in here, they were kind of necessary. But from this decision, we made quite a lot of steps forward and back. First, we had the crazy idea, that we are actually going to have an actress sing underneath the water, because there's one band called the Aquaphobic, and they do that. But then we were thinking it could be a torture. Then we were trying to sing into the water. Maybe there will be some effect as well. I'm going to show you a clip. It's very embarrassing for me, but Jakub loves it.
yeah.
Colors of thousand stars.
So we actually put a mic in the water and try to record it, and we also had a version. I wasn't able to find a video, unfortunately, but we also have a video like where we have a head in the water, and we are singing. So yeah, but that didn't really work, and yeah, the mic got wet a little.
So then we tried. I'm going to play the teaser you already saw. We tried to actually record the singers normally, and then try to sort of tweak up their voices to make it sound like they're underneath the water. Now it kind of starts. And the problem with this is that it would really need to be accompanied by subtitles. And also, when you modify the human voice so much, it kind of starts to break. It starts to sound kind of robotic and way too much eerie. And it just was not, it just didn't feel like something that would help our film. We actually did even the previous track with Czech composer and producer Floex. You might know him from a couple of games he made, from Samorost or Machinarium, or from his album like Zoria is one of my favorites as well. And he's just amazing in his ways, that he's just so playful and kind of fairy tale like, but not in a kitschy way. And yeah, it's really for me it's really amazing to work with him, because it's just something different. And also he prefers to do things live rather than use the electronic music, even though sometimes he has like the electronic beats, but he still pre-records them on the normal instrument, and then edits it. And we came up with another way, that we are actually going to make a made-up language for each of the animals, and then sing it, and that's going to create the illusion that we are underwater, like we are hearing these squeaks and really like the things you could actually sometimes hear in the oceans, like the sounds the walrus are making or the seals. Then we're trying to imagine like how the shrimp would sound. And the idea is that when they will be talking or singing underneath the water, you would have subtitles, but once they're above the water, you can actually understand them. It's like a Let's Joke we have. But the movie works even without subtitles as well. It's one of the artistic decisions we are thinking about right now, because for me the image, the film, it's so colorful and so rich in the screen and how it looks like. I'm just a little bit worried if the subtitles are not going to be too much in there as well. But this is just one of the things we are now considering with Jakub.
Yeah, I think we will do some tests like with subtitles, like different different fonts and sizes, and like we will see how it works, if it doesn't ruin the image, and what will happen. It's like part of it.
Yeah, exactly. I think like with this film, it's always like just dancing around it, like trying different things. And sometimes it's really, really fun. Sometimes a little bit frustrating, especially when it prolongs the time making. But I think it's good just to accept some of those things, especially if you're working with something so difficult as stop motions. And I'm going to play the excerpt from how we actually did the music at the moment.
I think I love the teaser. I love the video. I think you're doing a beautiful film, but there's still like some things to do, and we'd love to share with you like our beautiful team, because like without these people, the movie won't happen. So you have like Bára, me, and Vráťa, like as producers from Bionaut, animators Jirka, Vojta, Tomáš, and Matouš, our 3 OPs, Lucia and David. Editor Lukáš, like I think we will be editing like in a few months, so still there. Script editor Petr Koubek, who worked with us on the previous film, Love is Just a Day Away. Then already mentioned Floex. And we have a great sound designer from Norway, Kristoffer Endresen, who will do the sound design. And of course, our lovely co-producers, Lillian, Maria, and Georg, who are part of the project. So at the end, sorry.
Okay, I should mention we
Yeah.
haven't put in the two another parts of the Visa team, which is our lovely set makers and prop makers, Agata Hanchirova and Andrzej Slavik.
Yeah, this is like a way to to thank them, because I think it was like challenging for all of us, this whole process, and we actually survived the animation. And what's next is like to finish the 3D post-production of the Melva's POV, which we are doing in Germany. We will start editing. We will finalize music, and we will finalize sound, and we will just like finish the movie. And I hope it will be finished in March of 2025. So our idea is like to try the summer festival season, and so March 2025, or maybe a year later, because you never know, what will happen in this project.
Please no.
And just to sum up like our development and like the production phase that ended like a few months ago, we presented the film at Animation Sans Frontières, which was, I'm not probably pronouncing it right, but like, pardon my French. We pitched at Animart when we won an award. We pitched at CEEA Animation Forum, where we won an award. We pitched at Cartoon Springboard. We pitched at a Cartoon Forum, where we got this like feedback, and we decided like to keep the 15-minute film. And we pitched at Grant Českého obzoru, it's like Czech Horizon grant, supported by PPF Foundation. And we were one of the projects that was supported, I think it's 2 years ago, 22, no, 20, I'm now lost in the years. But and right now it's a co-production in to Czech companies, Bionaut Animation and Divise, Troll Film from Norway, and Reinhardt Films from Germany. And we are glad for the support of Czech Film Fund that supported development and production, because without them we couldn't even start it. Norwegian Film Institute, which covers the cost of the sound post-production, and the support of PP Foundation and Český obzor, the Czech Horizon, BFF Wroclaw, the studio, and also, of course, our own investment. And I forgot not to forget to mention like help from Samuelson, the lighting company that helped us like in development, doing the teaser, and lovely people from Optoma who are supporting us with projectors, because it's also hard for the projectors to keep running like almost like the whole day, and they are upside down. Shouldn't be
Yeah,
saying
but
this.
to be honest, they're really good. I was surprised because we had them running for a year,
Yeah.
and none of the bulbs actually broke. Like they started losing a little bit of contrast, but just a little bit. And also we had to install because we were putting them into very weird positions actually to have them like exactly where we needed. So we had to make them like a little ventilators that we took from the PCs, because otherwise they would be overheating because of the lamp inside of it. But yeah, I was really impressed as well. They were holding so well through the entire process. So looking for the project through Optoma, that is commercial break installing.
And
Yeah.
so I guess this is all from us. If you have any questions, plus please like just you can ask now or reach to us. Maybe something was not understandable, or I don't know, so we can explain things and follow up or something or anything.
Thank you very much, because it's such nice to have such an honest talk, and thank you for sharing this behind the scenes and all the experience that everyone can see. It's so fun just to try, but also just in the production way that Jakub just is also allowing this, just process that where you can just try, and if it's not working, you just try it differently. So just this is very funny, and just that when you were
That's
going
how we do
through
it.
exactly, just it's working, so we'll try it differently, and this is how it is.
We always hope that it's going to work.
Of course. It's just that you don't give up and just it's not working like this, so we'll find another solution. So which is great.
Yeah. No, but I think I like to also like to I think it was hard for us, like for everybody in a process, and but we are making I hope a great movie. We'll see in next few months, and we met great people on the way. So I just lost the English word, but I'm really happy for this.
Great. So I would have the first question actually. When I saw your team, I saw that you're having there 2 DOPs. If you can tell us how this is working, or how is your setup on the production?
Well, we actually didn't have just 2 DOPs, we had about 5 of them. I think it's I wouldn't say it's typical, but when you're shooting a stop motion film and you need to have a DOP, most of the DOPs, like especially after they finish university, they rather go into an actual filmmaking business. And doing an animation is mostly because they love it so much. Because obviously the stop motion film, you have to be there every day, for eight or more hours a day. I would say it doesn't pay as well as the live action film as well, because you got more money and you have it finished quickly and then you can move to another project. So we were having this kind of troubles that we could not find somebody for the full time, because at first we thought it's going to be a year and that's such a huge commitment, and then we just
for 7 months
realized
and the end 15.
in 15. So it just got longer and longer, and at first we thought we were going to have just Lucia Zavarčíková, who was at the time living in the LA, but we just loved her work so much, so we convinced her to come to Czech and shoot with us. And then we would either like manage the lighting by ourselves, but then we just figure out that it's way too much complicated, and we welcome in the team 3 and other cinematographers who are helping us with the lighting, with the camera stuff. Even with the motion control, you need to have somebody who actually knows how to work with the technology. So in the end we had about 5 people in rotation, and Lucia and David were the ones who were actually setting the tone of each scene and of the mood of the entire film. But yeah, there was plenty of them.
Great. I've got one question from Facebook from Massimo. Czech animation has a wonderful tradition dating back to 60s and 70s. Krtek comes to mind, with a very experimental and art house approach, producing a really original output compared to what was and is being made elsewhere. Starting from such interesting foundation, how is the animation industry doing in Czechia right now, both in terms of commercial and artistic projects? Is it a lively industry? Is the government supporting it with tax rebates and or funds? So maybe it's question to Jakub. How is going Czech?
So there was a complex question.
Exactly.
I think the animation industry in Czech Republic is doing well. I think its writing is getting bigger. You can be supported by Czech Film Fund. As we mentioned, we got support from development, we got support for production. And also like with our previous movie, Love is Just Let It Away, even though it was a student movie. So, but our fund is now rebooting. So they will keep supporting animation. We will know the deadlines, like I guess in early next year, and you can also get incentives for animation. Now it's 20%, and there's some spend limit for series and for film, which differs. So I don't know, like
Yeah,
I'm
I will
sorry.
maybe just add, if you are
Yeah.
searching some information about Czech
Yeah.
and Czech industry, you can just always come to see the website of Czech Film Fund or Czech Film Center, where they are having there some materials where you can find all the details about all different types of funding for animation, live action, or documentary. So everything is there online. So just feel free to go there and see what's going on. And coming to this is just to know Czech Republic as a co-producer and the main producer. How was it in your case, the co-productions? And I saw that you were having also the partners in Norwegian countries or in Norway and Norway and Germany. So how was it?
Actually, like, what's one thing I didn't mention is like that we started the production without like closed budget, like closed financing, which I think we will never do again because it's so stressful. And we are looking for co-producers like on the way, just like started and then we start looking. So, and we tried funding from France, which we didn't get for a short film, and we said like there's no point to applying or to trying even the TV special, as I mentioned, like our experience for Cartoon Forum. We tried the funding from Slovakia, which also didn't happen. But like with Lillian and Maria from Troll Film, it was quite early on. I think it's like already like 1 year and a half, and we met in Annecy. I think it was in Annecy, and they loved the project. It's like, okay, let's try to do sound in Norway. I like, to be honest, I didn't like much hopes. Like my hopes weren't that high because I had no experience with like with Nordic countries and their support, but we got it, and we will do early 2025 animation there, which is great. So and then through Trollfilm, through Maria and Lynn, we met Georg from Reinhardt Films, and they love it also so much that they are actually like investing their own money in the movie to make 3D to be part of it. So
Amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, we
It
were
was
really
great.
lucky.
And I think like it's also the way how to obviously like produce movies, because like if you have like 15-minute film that costs like 500,000 euro, we're not able to finance it just for Czech Republic. I'm not talking about the feature films that are even more expensive. So
Great. Awesome. So I don't know if you've got anything to be added. We do not have any other questions from Facebook as I'm watching now here. So just anything else to be added at the end? Maybe just the final questions in March 2025. Okay, everything is done. Everything is ready. And what next?
So you mean next project?
Next
Yeah.
project. Oh, that's a tricky question. I do have one feature film that I'm currently working on, but it's kind of personal. I am not ready to talk about it yet. But so far, we are just hoping we are not going to get hit by another epidemic, and maybe we'll actually get to go and visit some festivals together with the film. We even planned at the start of our co-work with Floex, we were thinking about making actually a traveling exposition from the film, because it's always so heartbreaking to just discard of all the props you had, but at the same time there just isn't a lot of places where to actually have them on display. Like sometimes in Czech there's this animation exhibition, but I think there's just one animation house in Liberec, and I'm not sure how the exhibition work and if it's available throughout the year, but we just wanted to show a little bit from the world in live, and maybe have like a little traveling exhibition together with the film, with little holograms or singing fish and shrimps. And we still have all the props and set hidden in the storage room, so maybe one day we'll be able to do something with it together with the Floex music and some light installation that there will be like the strings of light that will be programmed maybe through the projectors as well. So if you would touch it, it would make a sound, so the people could have their own like little underwater musical. But that's the problem with the financing again. So maybe we'll try after the film is finished and we are ready to go out. Maybe we'll look into the financing of this traveling little exhibition that would be going with the film as well.
So like we will focus on distribution because the work like doesn't end like with finished movie, and I have quite big hopes like with this one. So and then we'd like to move like what we told her, like this one is like between the short film and the feature film. It's actually longer than the previous movie, so you're there.
Well, a little bit. Yeah, that's the tricky thing. Like first we wanted really to make 25, so it would be easier for us to transfer to the feature film, because it felt like it's a little bit hard. At first I thought it's a little bit harder to write a 25-minute movie. But then when we decided to make only 15 minutes, or like to have a 15-minute version, I discovered that is so much harder, because in 25 you have the space to actually put in maybe more, you get more into the relationship in between the creatures. You can have there the scenes that are not necessarily moving the story forward, but they're just deepening their bonds, and we had to let a lot of them go because they were just not functioning in the movie. So yeah. So that was a tricky one. So maybe I would say like writing in 15 minutes is so much more difficult than 25.
We are still having one question from Facebook.
Yep.
Have you reached out to ocean protection associations, to schools about this project, Ecological Tale, as an alternate strategy of distribution, public awareness, or fundraising?
It's on our list to do this.
Yeah,
Of course, like yeah.
Sorry. No, you start.
No. I'm just saying like it's on our list. It's one of our plans. We first go like with the usual like festival strategy, because we'd like to have some like nice big premiere, and then we will look into this like also to screen and we have some programs in the oceanographic centers, and so because like part of the what's not maybe what you cannot see in the excerpts we showed, it's like the environmental part of the story, which is there.
Yeah, we wanted to include some of the things you can normally find in the ocean nowadays, like rubbish, used toothbrushes, bottles, stuff. It's all there in the background. We didn't want it to make like directly up in your eyes, because that's just the reality of the oceans, that it's there and it should hit you like slowly rather than just being a huge exclamation. So yeah, we are definitely thinking about bringing some ocean cleanliness awareness into that as well.
Great.
And of course, like if anyone has like some other question or so, here's like our contacts. I don't know, it's like somewhere around here, and you can reach to us and just ask, and we can follow up on this. Really gladly to share our fun and thoughts with this.
Great. So thank you again to our fantastic speakers, to everyone who joined us today. The session will be there also available for later. So if you want to listen once more or share it with some other people, just feel free. It will be available and we keep it there for later watching. Stay also connected with CEEA Animation. There is much more in store for you. You can apply now for the CEEA Animation workshop, our year-long training program, or you can also get the accreditation for the upcoming CEEA Animation forum, the co-production market. So if you visit our webpage,
we will be there.
Exactly. It's what I wanted to say. Jakub and Bára, it's our every year comers, so they are always there. 2 years ago, they pitched this wonderful project, and Jakub is going to pitch the new feature. So
my colleague will, but I will be there.
But he will be there. So if you want to meet them, just come in Plzeň in November. And if you need any information, just visit our webpage or just leave us message on Facebook or another way. So thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next month at our next webinar. Thank you very much and have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.